All right. I know I said that I wasn't going to do any more videos until I was done with the game, but I'm so excited about it, that I just can't, shut my big fat mouth. And so I just want to show you the progress so far. Probably looking at, it's probably going to be around June before it's all done. But I just want to talk about, some things that are going on here. So, you can see that a lot of the basic, kind of scripted stuff has been hooked up. The collisions and physics, have all been hooked up. The shadow has been unified, so instead of only the Andore guys having shadows, basically all objects in the game, have shadows. Um, you can interact with all the objects and things, break and so on. And I've implemented all the major gameplay systems. I've completely redesigned a lot of Guy's mechanics, where he had like a really shitty wall jump in the original game, where you could only like wall jump off of certain things. But basically in this version, he can wall jump off of the corner of the screen at all times, as well as objects and the stuff like that. Um, yeah, and so you can see that I have weapons in here, and that's all working. And I think you're gonna crap your pants when you see actually how ridiculous this gets. How far I've taken it. So basically, before I talked about how there's actually a button to pick up, weapons and items and everything, so that you can stand over something. Well, let me illustrate this. You see how I can actually stand on top of something, on top of other items, and still keep attacking, and without picking them up. And so that's intentional. But you can't have like a pick up item button without also giving the person the ability to drop items, which you can do. And but it gets really fucking crazy because as usual, I've done an insane implementation of this stuff, where it's just completely out of control. But basically, oh yeah, this is kind of awesome, isn't it? But basically, you can interact with all the objects in the game the same way. So, I have a normal attack, I have a knockback attack, and the same logic applies to all of the objects in the game, including the weapons. So, look at this ridiculous shit. Yeah, see, it's just fucking beautiful. And you can see how this is going to apply to so many things in the game. I mean, yeah, I'm sure you're thinking what I'm thinking. Um, you see how fucking beautiful that is? I mean, basically, this is pretty much the best thing ever made. I don't know what else to say. It is pretty much the most awesome thing I've ever played. I'm actually kind of having a hard time finishing this thing just because it's already too fucking fun to play. I just find myself, just shitting around because mechanically everything is so fucking sound. Everything feels so good. Um, yeah, it's fucking beautiful, man. But okay, so in any case, that's kind of just like a general update about the status of some of these things. And you should also notice that I have like the hit stop effect in there. So like if you attack somebody, you can see how like the character just kind of pauses in place just for just like a few milliseconds, just to kind of match the behavior of the original game. And yeah, I mean, basically mechanically, it's pretty much there. Like at this point, I'm really just kind of tweaking some AI stuff and working on the rest of the scripted events. But it's like really fucking sound right now. Like the game plays beautifully. It's really fun. So yeah, so I just I'm so excited about it. I can't wait to get it out. Um, and I've only just kind of scratched the surface of the crazy shit that I've added. So let me actually, yeah, let me just show you. So okay, so that's fine. I've also, hooked up the basic stuff, where the game has, an INI file now where you can set all the options. Um, and so something though that is really funny. So I've mentioned, many times that I hate scripted events. I always want to be in control of everything. That's just how I feel about games. When a game takes control away, it makes me angry. It pisses me off. And so I just wanted to show you, like how far I've taken this. So if I start, on the first stage here, you can see that, we have Damned, and he's there. But I want you to see this, how interesting this is. So basically, you can actually follow this asshole, and and if you follow him all the way, you can actually see him go down the stairs. Okay, so you're thinking like, oh, all right, okay, that's kind of interesting, but exactly what you're thinking is what can happen. So look at this fucking shit, how crazy this is. If you're fast enough when you start the game, kaboom, you can actually rescue Jessica early. And if you do it, you're going to get a different ending in the game. There's going to be some side effects from it. And it's fucking crazy, man. It is fucking crazy. And basically the whole game is like that too, where anything in the old game that would have like taken control away from the player, you can always do something in this one. Always. So yeah, I'm so excited about this. I've been busting my ass, trying to finish it, but it just takes time because the thing is, I have so many ideas, I have so many different things I want to do with the game. It's just it just takes a lot of time. And the other thing too is, I mean, like I said, I mean, I basically just do this in my spare time. I have a full-time job. I work 8 hours a day, and then I come home and I work on this. It's fucking draining. So I'm trying to get it done as quickly as possible. But yeah, I'm probably looking at like June. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like June is about because also I mean like when I release it, it's gonna be like really fucking polished. And so I'm gonna make sure that everything actually feels pretty much perfect before I release it. And yeah, so it is getting there. And so, okay, yeah, so basically you can interrupt, players, I've hooked up, a lot of animations that were unused in the game for Jessica, so basically you can actually knock her around, but effectively how it's going to work though is like if you use like the pickup thing, you can basically just, say, okay, Jessica, go home. And when you do that, that's what's going to trigger the thing to, do the alternate, stuff in the rest of the levels. But yeah, so that's that, and I'm really excited about that stuff. Oh yeah, you can see that like that hit offset isn't. See, like some of the hit offsets aren't hooked up yet, or not hit offsets, but the weapon offsets. Some of them aren't hooked up yet. So, but something else though that I want to show, which is kind of interesting. So, unlike the original game, I'm actually, if I can, let me see how you can like you can actually see Guy holding the knife, even when he's grabbing people. So, unlike the original game, and see how he's still holding the knife when he does the special attack. Unlike the original game, I'm always, showing the weapon on every frame of animation. So, like, weapons don't just like magically disappear when you're in certain frames of animation, so I'm going through and hooking up all that stuff too. But I'm just saying, man, jumping, towards the edge of the screen, wall jumping, and then jumping off of it and hitting somebody in midair is basically like the best thing I've ever seen. It is so fucking satisfying, and it's pretty much getting to that point where like that's kind of how I want the game to be. You know, like when you select a character in the game, I basically want it to be like agonizing. You know, like I want the choice between Hager and Cody and Guy to be really difficult, where it's like, oh man, you know, Guy has that awesome wall jump, so you know I kind of want to play him, but oh man, if I pick Hager, I can you know, power drive people out of midair, and I have that awesome stuff. So I mean, that's basically my goal, to make it a really tough choice, you know, when deciding you know, which character you know, you're going to play. And you know, and I think I can do that. So all right, so I've blabbed enough, but now let me show you the other big fucking feature that I'm also really excited about. So from the beginning, there's always kind of been the assumption that you know, we're going with Sega CD music. You know, that was kind of one of the big things. But here's the next bombshell. I've added support for 4 different music formats. So you can select arcade original music, you can select X68K FM from the Sharp you know, computer port of Final Fight, which is actually really awesome because it basically is just like a higher quality version of the arcade music. The X68K computer had a Yamaha FM chip in it that was basically better than the one that was used in the arcade Final Fight. So it basically sounds the same, only the samples are much cleaner and the drums are like way better. Okay, and then you know, the next option is kind of crazy. It's General MIDI, which was also an option on X68K computer. And then the final option is Sega CD. So you can actually choose between 4 different soundtracks, and I'll demonstrate it for you. So check this crap out.